Aaron.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
My view is that we are a big tent party, meaning we should make room for people with lots of different voices.
We are a big tent party, and being a big tent party is a strength, not a weakness.
You know, you can pick whatever you want to pick. But I think we need a big tent.
Yeah, there you go. They're ready to embrace. They were ready to go all in on the Democrat Socialist of America. They were convinced for some reason, because they are lost, by the way, completely lost. The Democrat Party is so bloody lost. They are cleaving in half, and they welcomed the DSA into the tent. And what did I tell you? I said you're inviting a bunch of vampires into the house, and y'all know what happens when that happens. You invite the vampire in, and the vampire tries to kill everybody. And I also told you, I don't know, the last couple of weeks, that this wasn't going to catch on nationally. Oh, yeah, but the DSA won a couple last night. Oh, I'll explain exactly why they won and why this is a giant faceplant. It's going to be a giant faceplant in Michigan. It's going to be a giant faceplant in the state of Milwaukee. It's going to be a giant faceplant in Minnesota. All of those things coming up. But the big news last night, everybody was convinced that Hong Kong Phooey was going to win last night. Let's go ahead and play her theme song one last time, because she's going to go back to the restaurant business. Never one super guy. Hong Kong Phooey. Quicker than the human eye. Chong, a chong, a chuck a two chong, a chop, chop, choppy, and a bow, wow, wow. Yeah.
Hong Kong Phooey. Fanrific.
Isn't it amazing? They said that Hong Kong Phooey was going to win by like 20 points. They were convinced. And then yesterday, literally, they had polls saying that Francesca Hong was going to win by 20 points in Milwaukee. She was destined. They said she had a 97% chance of winning yesterday. Now, you may recall in the El Said victory in Michigan about a week ago, he was expected to win by 20 points. He barely got by. Hong Kong Phooey got beaten by about a percentage point. So this gives you an idea of the popularity of this movement. It is a splintered movement. It is a radical movement, and there aren't enough people supporting this movement to propel it nationally. You know why? And I told you this. I still have faith in the American people. I've said about the Democrats out there, I said 80% of us believe the country was headed in the wrong direction before 2024. 80% could come together to save her. Now I say the same thing. As you see Democrats saying, I'm not going to vote for El Said. As you've seen Michelle Tafoya winning big time in Minnesota against another nutcase, Peggy Flanagan. As nutty as Francesca Hong. The 2024 election, I said, was about returning from nonsense to common sense. This is about sanity versus insanity. Last night, insanity won a little bit of Minnesota with Flanagan winning, but it's because Minnesota is friggin' insane. They have the Democrat, the DFL party up there, which is as left can be. The Democrat Farmers and Laborers, can it sound more Soviet than that? All in behind this woman, and a very corrupt voting machine in the Twin Cities, including Little Somalia. Yeah. So she was able to win last night, but I think Minnesotans have had enough of the bullcrap up there. They know they're getting screwed over. They know that there's massive fraud in that state. They know that the Twin Cities were let burn by the governor. They're done with it. And in Wisconsin, too, I believe the same thing is true. These are Midwestern states, guys. Okay, these are not bookends on the coasts. These are Midwestern states, and there are people in the hinterlands who don't like any of this friggin' nonsense. Any of this nonsense whatsoever. Here is the results last night late on the election in Wisconsin.
David Crowley beat Francesca Hong by less than a percentage point, not the margin that polls had indicated. But Hong had baggage from previous social media posts and lacked the endorsements of prominent progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC.
She was too nuts for Bernie Sanders and AOC. Yet yesterday, her odds of winning were 95.5%, according to Kalshi. Her odds dropped Tuesday afternoon to 58%. Still 58%.
Moderate Dems were nervous. The socialist was too much of a liability to beat Republican Tom Tiffany in November.
Now, just a couple weeks ago, everybody was all in on this DSA. Oh, welcome him into the tent. This is the direction of the party. What did I say? I said in 2024, Kamala Harris got her rear end kicked up between her shoulders because she took the party left. These jackweeds decided, okay, this is our opportunity. We got our asses completely kicked in 2024. Let's just get beaten into hell this year by unveiling during the 250th anniversary of our country's birth that we want to overtake the country, get rid of the Senate, get rid of electing the president directly, basically have a Politburo, get rid of the border, get rid of the prisons, get rid of the police. I mean, are you out of your friggin' minds? Are you out of your minds? What did I say about the DSA? I said they are Animal Farm meets Lord of the Flies. That's what they are. And these children are going to get the spanking of a friggin' lifetime.
Crowley's campaign is now out with a new statement this morning saying his next goal is to try and build a broad coalition that would be crucial to winning the governor's mansion. They say David is focused on bringing people together, earning the support of Democrats, Republicans, and independents, and anyone.
You're not going to get any Republicans.
Who believes Wisconsin is at its best when we work together and deliver
blah, 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 blah.
results. Although the Democrat socialist movement faced a setback in Wisconsin overnight, the far left did notch a win in Minnesota.
Yeah, and it's not a big surprise that Peggy Flanagan won in Minnesota because Minnesota is bat guano crazy, and it's driven by the large population center of Minneapolis and St. Paul. But the same thing in the general will happen to her that happened to Kong Fooey in Wisconsin. People are going to wake up and realize we don't want bat guano crazy, down with the corruption of the Somali pirates who moved in, and they're ready to change. I believe that. I do believe that. I think they've had enough nuts up there. We'll see. The only negative about Tafoya winning, we're going to start seeing a lot more My Pillow commercials. That's the only thing I just not looking forward to that. I do have on My Pillow, by the way. Actually, obviously they worked, but I guess it was just a bridge too far when Hong Kong Fooey said this.
Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our community.
People are tired of this academic woke gobbledygook saying that the people in our community. What community? You're friggin' Korean. Why in the hell would Thanksgiving be incredibly painful for a Korean coming here for her family to live the American dream?
My favorite.
And here she is, the toddler last week saying that her favorite holiday is suddenly Thanksgiving.
Holiday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because I
there
love
you have it.
There you have it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And it's like a kid when they're lying, and she's standing there. She's got cookie crumbs on her mouth. The cookie jar is broken on the floor, and mom says, "Hey, you been eating cookies?" No. The dog ate them or something. He's a terrible liar. She lies like a little child. And that the interviewer, whoever that was, decided, okay, well, there you have it. I know you said that you should feel terrible about Thanksgiving. You should have got rid of it in 1621. You've lived your entire life hating white people, hating Thanksgiving and hating Holization of America and hating America and all of this. But all of a sudden, you're asked last week, you like Thanksgiving? Oh, no, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, nobody bought it. You little jackweed. Unbelievable. I want to do a musical tribute other than my Hong Kong Fooey theme song, which I'm very actually disappointed. I would have rather had her as the candidate because I could have kept playing that song. But Jim Gossett put this together because she's feeling a little blue this morning. Blue, yeah.
Hong, she's blue. She received a thumping. Crowley came through thanks to ballot dumping.
Maybe she wasn't white adjacent enough. I don't know. I don't even know.
She was deep sixed. Was it fixed? Did Democrats cheat? They were scared of Hong and engineered her defeat.
That's kind of strange, right?
Her complete defeat.
Ouch.
Hong is blue, was humiliated. Hong is through, she is devastated.
Boo friggity who.
Full of crap, wanted to scrap the Senate and ICE.
This is like a late turn abortion, maybe the Democrat Party.
Thanksgiving we should cancel right away. That was her advice.
Yeah.
Hong is blue.
You know, this is kind of a late-term abortion by the Democrat Party in the state of Wisconsin. They had like a second trimester abortion in Maine when they got rid of Graham Plattner. They got rid of him and replaced him with a guy who likes to bang his first cousin, has two children that are his second cousins. So, but that was a medium-term abortion. This was a late-term abortion, like they're now allowing in Massachusetts, right up to birth. And she almost got born yesterday, but the Democrat Party said no, they're a little too cray-cray, in the state of Wisconsin. We got more on this. We got some amazing stuff coming out of Minnesota and why Mike Lindell lost, even though he did have Trump's endorsement. And you know, the Democrats are all like, see, Donald Trump lost. You know, well, Donald Trump's won on 120 out of 120, and he missed one yesterday, but I'll explain exactly why that is. Coming up, 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.
News 680 WCBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Hoping to do this live shot from inside the Hong campaign headquarters watch party. We arrived with our confirmation materials, all the registration that we needed, front of the line. We were told because of capacity that they had the discretion to turn some away. It appears Fox News was the only immediate outlet turned away, but we can report from out here.
Isn't that funny? That was at the loser party last night, the Francesca Hong loser party. And they said, oh, yeah, we're at a capacity, even though Fox was in the front of the line. And they were the only media outlet not allowed into the building. I'm not sure Newsmax was there. I'm sure Newsmax would certainly be blocked out of the loser party last night. Oh my God, everybody's so convinced Francesca Hong was going to win. Man, this little toddler, this mental toddler, Marquette Law poll at July 22nd through the 27th, the 38% lead. My God in heaven. Earlier Marquette poll, July 8th to the 16th, when Crowley was out of the race, Hong led by 26. The Marquette polls were taken before Hong's controversial social media posts about canceling Thanksgiving made the national news. It's been there all along. And then as of yesterday, 95.5% were the odds of her winning the race. That was on Monday. It had narrowed to 58% by Tuesday, but still 58% on Tuesday. And then David Crowley, who dropped out of the race, the Democrats panicked, freaked out, threw him back in, and then he ended up winning last night. And then, of course, last night something weird happened, which is not uncommon in the state of Wisconsin. There was a late night vote drop or something.
Okay. Wow. What the heck just came in Brown? Which was that? That was huge for her.
Yeah. So that was about 18,000 votes. And she nets 2,000.
Question. Was that that wasn't central count, was it?
It's possible.
No. I want you to think about this. Democrats, human error. 5 of 9 USB drives arrived to Central HQ without election results. The early hours of Wednesday morning, Wisconsin primary results coming in. Milwaukee Election Commission Executive Paulina Gutierrez admitted that 5 of the 9 USB flash drives delivered to the city's central count facility to county contained audit logs instead of actual results. It's a human error is what she said. Now, I don't know exactly what the hell is going on, but wouldn't it be kind of funny if the Democrats did the same thing that they allegedly do to Republicans to a Democrat socialist candidate?
There are two things. There's the audit log and the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a human error.
Yeah.
These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that it's not the audit log.
Okay. And this is NBC last night signing off in the most awkward fashion I could possibly imagine.
Yeah. I here's the thing.
See, if we're a Republican involved here and the Republican lost, they wouldn't even care. They just sign right off and say, have a great night, everybody. He's at a loss for words. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's let's look at it. This way.
Sure. Yeah.
We're kind of indefinitely waiting for them to get their act together here, and
they do that a lot.
Get the sticks and bring them back and go on.
Now, in 2020, then Milwaukee Election Executive Director Claire Woodvog lost one of the flash drives containing critical absentee ballot results in the middle of the night, right as Milwaukee dumped a massive wave of ballots that helped deliver Wisconsin to Joe Biden. It's kind of weird. In 2024, Milwaukee election workers left tabulator doors unlocked and unsealed for hours while processing tens of thousands of absentee ballots. I'm thinking Donald Trump should declare that election emergency in 2026. Absolutely 100%. And this is just utterly ridiculous. It's been going on for years. Have the damn votes counted and turn in the results so you can tell the news media who won and who lost that night. There you go. But apparently it looks like Hong was a little too far left. This is Tom Tiffany, who's going to be competing against this other guy who beat Hong, talking about the expensive price of socialism. Now, this was recorded yesterday.
I think this is part of the reason that you're seeing Bernie, AOC, and others that they will not endorse her. She's proposing all of these things, and there's a price tag to them. And the people in Wisconsin are going to find out what that price tag is for all these free things that she's going to offer people across the state of Wisconsin. And even they know it will not add up at the end of the day.
Now, he's got to compete with this guy, David Crowley, who seems to be more moderate than Hong. Hong is a radical, a crazy cat lady Democrat. Like I've told you, this is what makes up the Democrat Party. Crazy cat ladies and the emasculated men in their lives. She's the cat lady. She's cat lady central. Bat guano crazy, spews the same talking points that every other leftist in the country has been spewing about, America sucks, Thanksgiving sucks, absolutely negative, wants to usher in this communism, Marxism into the country and all of this. And even people in Wisconsin last night said, no, I don't know much about her opponent right now. But here is Scott Walker. No, actually, here's Shermichael Singleton on CNN talking about, and this is before Francesca Hong lost.
Look, we're going to be potentially running against a candidate who doesn't share the values of Wisconsinites and most of Americans.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about someone who says we should cancel Thanksgiving, or someone who's made pronouncements about Christmas being problematic,
or had a problem with her son being white proximate because he's half white.
Someone who's made various pronouncements about borders and the way we control immigration and the flow of immigration in our country.
Yeah.
Most, I would argue, hardworking Wisconsin voters.
Yeah, and most people in Wisconsin are hardworking. Okay, Democrat socialists aren't. They're overeducated, they've got lots of student debt, and have done D-word for Richard with their lives.
Say, look, we may not like certain aspects of the economy. We may think that sometimes Republicans may go a little too far on this or that.
Really?
But we would
What about the Democrats?
rather vote for a Republican who still maintains the fundamental American values as opposed to someone who wants to destroy and tear down everything we hold dear. It's one thing to have a critique to improve things. It's a whole nother thing to set the whole darn house on fire.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. There you go. And remember all the kneeling during the national anthem and all the nonsense of the summer in 2020? We thought that was dead. We beat that. And yet the DSA decided they would try to reignite it. And guess what? Their house is burning down. Because, and I have said, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews, we are going to come together to save America. Who knew this? I did. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews. It's a metaphor for Americans who love America to come together and save America and get back to some frickin' common sense and get rid of the nutcases in the government. Get rid of this DSA morons. The Lord of the Rings or Lord of the Flies meets Orwell's 1984. They are adult children. It's burning down in New York too. Mamdani, the bud is off of his rose too. Any adult with some common sense would have seen this. It's the Rob Carson Show. Back in a few.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
We gotta ride the block or move. We got a right to shut it down. Iran's leader is a clown. They're in clear violation. It is safe to assume the bombing will resume. All Iran will see is misery. We will take out power plants. Coral Island we will seize. You'll see it on the news. We got a right to block or move.
Hey guys, it's Carson. You know, when it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF.
About that rally in Staten Island, Joe, where Scott LoBaido organized a protest, America's Artists, against Zohran Mamdani, and they booed him off. Scott had a confrontation, actually had a heart attack, almost died. But today, we're just getting this video in first here on Newsmax. Scott LoBaido apparently chartered a plane from his hospital bed, and he's flying this banner over New York City.
Oh, my God, it's fantastic. Joining us, the man whose voice you just heard and you see on Newsmax all the time, John Tabacco, Newsmax host of The Wide Guys, friends of this radio program. How are you, my friend?
Not just friends of the radio program, friends of Rob Carson.
Oh, brother. Oh,
Man,
brother.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh, dude, I got to tell you, LoBaido, only LoBaido would have a massive heart attack and from his hospital bed charter a plane to fly a banner saying, Mamdani, stay away from ground zero.
Well, look, Rob, you heard my report, and I'm sure you know Scott's kind of like the grand poobah of activists, protesters, and, you know, great American patriots in Staten Island. And I've been learning how to be a peaceful activist from him for years. I look up to him. He's one of the best in the business, and heart's in the right place for America.
Yes, sir.
But I was panicked, you know, at the event. Thankfully, it was law enforcement night out.
Yeah.
And there were every first responder in the world. He got into a heated confrontation with Zohran Mamdani, which he's been relentlessly, and we have in Staten Island been calling him out.
Yeah.
And then the cops ultimately had to separate them. As they pulled Scott away, he said, "I'm not feeling well." He went down to a knee, then he just collapsed.
Jeez.
And you know, thank goodness all these first responders were there. They actually performed chest compressions on him for 15 minutes. And they had to defibrillate him, zap him in the field.
Wow.
Yeah, he was actually dead. He flatlined for 2.5 minutes.
Unbelievable.
And the great men and women of the emergency services, police, fire department, they got him back to life. They threw him in an ambulance, took him to Staten Island University Hospital. And one of my high school classmates, one of my dear friends, Dr. Frank Tamburino, who runs the cardiology department there at Staten Island, he's a huge patriot, too. When he heard Scott was there, came flying from home. They did everything they had to do, life-saving measures, and now, you know, some follow-up. He's had some surgery, but he's home. He's resting peacefully. I just spoke to him 15 minutes ago, and believe it or not, he was in the car on his way to D.C. because the State Department is exhibiting one of his paintings.
Wow.
So even though he's supposed to be on bed rest, he's on his way to D.C. But, Rob, to the bigger point, the man woke up, and they said, "You're alive, you're okay, you're good." He called his manager and said, "I want this guy to know that I ain't going away easy." And they orchestrated this stunt. He rented a plane. His manager rented a plane with this sign flying around New York City. You know, and his manager told me, "Hey, I think we're going to pull this thing off." And I said, "Well, I'm on air." So I was filling in on Bianca Across the Nation on Friday. And the plane, luckily for us, I had a little bit of a heads up that it might happen. So we had cameras ready where the proposed target line was of the plane. And we had it first on Newsmax, you know, and we're getting better at that, Rob. You know, but Scott wanted Mamdani to know that, you know, hey, I may be down from the other night, but I'm not out, and I'm here to haunt you. And, you know, the New York Post did a little article last week on Scott on, you know, what happened to him and if he's recovering. And they were nice enough to give me a quote in there. And I said to them, in that 2.5 minutes when Scott was dead, both God and Satan didn't want him, so they sent him back to us to haunt Mamdani from the grave.
You know, it's funny. I got one of his prints right behind me in the new studio here in Newsmax headquarters in D.C. I don't know if you heard, John. They moved me into the building. I got a studio in the Newsmax building here. Isn't that crazy? But I got.
Whoa!
I know, dude. I built my own studio here, brother.
This network is going places.
Come on,
Rob Carson in his own studio in the Newsmax building.
Hey, you want to hear something else funny, John? Just off topic. Yesterday we got news that my podcast is leading in the podcast news category ahead of NBC Nightly News and Jen Psaki.
I believe it. I call it Jen on Wise Guys on my show, Wise Guys. I call it Jen Sock Puppet.
Yeah, exactly. I call her.
That's what she was when she was, you know, the press secretary, but. Rob, I got to say, just to be a little nostalgic, because I know you and I, as a couple of the senior fellows around the Newsmax establishment, but we've come a long way from when we were both in our basement studios with our green screens.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're actually making news. I know Newsmax is kind of outperforming even Fox on coverage of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I know that news came out, so... We're making a dent, Rob.
Oh, brother. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, we got such a lineup at night. I've known Finnerty since Kansas City when he was an anchor here. And I met him there, and I went, there's something about this guy. And him and Schmidt and Greg Kelly and everybody, Greta. We got a hell of a lineup, and it's growing. And we're doing the stream here. You know, our stream is on all social media, is just gigantic across the country. But that said, I'm proud to be a part of this organization. But back to to LoBaido. Did he get bypass surgery? Did he get stents? What do you know about that? Because I'm quite familiar with it.
What I know is, and he gave me permission to talk about it, but he had to have a defibrillator installed inside his heart.
Oh, it's like a pacemaker.
Yeah, what he had was hold on, hey, New York City's crazy. What he had, Rob, was a ventricular defibrillation.
Yeah.
One of the chambers of the heart got out of rhythm with the other. Probably because it was 95 degrees and he was screaming on the top of his lungs, but got out of whack, and apparently this equipment they put in him will, if it gets out of whack, it'll zap it back into whack. So,
wow, that's crazy, man. I tell you, it is.
He's okay.
I got to tell you got to give the man credit that he's got some serious cojones. That he'd wake up in the hospital and be as resolved to end this nonsense in New York City with this monster of a mayor who is an Islamist first. John Tabacco, I'd like to continue the conversation after the break. I want to talk about how people are beginning to turn on this man-child, Zohran Mamdani, the Marxist communist Islamist who is running New York, and it sounds like he is collapsing. So, John, if you could hold through the break, I'd really appreciate it. Okay.
You got it, brother.
All right, more with John Tabacco from Newsmax. Wise Guys, this is the Rob Carson Show.
No, we're not. We got even worse.
That is Zohran Mamdani getting booed off stage at an event at Staten Island's first responders event, and I love it. Here to talk about it is New York native, host of the Wise Guys on Newsmax, John Tabacco. So LoBaido was there. LoBaido confronted Mamdani. That's when LoBaido had the heart problem, right?
Well, he has a heart problem, but he didn't have one until then, Rob.
Gotcha. Yeah, I understand. So tell me about the event and the reaction from the crowd to Mamdani. And I'd like to know in general how people are beginning to feel about this Marxist as mayor.
I think the people are feeling some remorse, especially those suckers who voted for free buses and free groceries. Rob, he said you're going to get free buses. Now, there's no free buses, and by the way, they raised the price of the buses here in New York, so that's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Said you're going to have free groceries, had this big press conference saying you're going to get 30% off your groceries. He forgot to mention you're going to get that 30% off in 2029.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's advertising 3 years in advance. And by the way, he said we're going to build these government grocery stores. We're going to build 5 of them for $70 million.
Yeah.
Now it turns out they're saying one is going to cost $50, and it'll be open in 2029. So, and now all the reports are coming in that the 5 of them together will probably be over $100 million. And when the government says $100 million, that's usually $200 million. So it looks like a whole lot of nothing. And everyone in the middle class who owns a home or has a blue-collar municipal city job that makes over $80,000, $100,000, people would think that they're the lower-income folks.
I know.
But they're going to get taxed more. He wants to raise your real estate tax.
Yeah.
He wants to put surcharges if you have a second home in the 5 boroughs. So, I think a lot of people who voted for him have remorse now. It's like, Jesus, what is this guy doing?
How in the hell can you afford? How can any middle class person survive in New York City?
They talk about affordability, and they're always pointing to New York City. But, Rob, let's face it, you know this. I'm a New York City boy through and through. I was born in Manhattan. I'm raised in Staten Island. New York's never been affordable.
I know.
That's what I say. If you could make it there, you could make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good barometer of affordability. Because if you want to come to New York and chase the big bucks and the big dreams, everybody knows you better have a couple of roommates until you get there.
I know.
So,
I remember.
I think.
Go ahead.
No, the other thing he's doing, which is really, I think, going to seriously hurt, capitalism, but also, commercial and residential real estate in New York. He's freezing rents, right?
Yeah.
And, you freeze rents, and then you raise the property taxes, and these landlords, they start to get to a point where they think, well, why the heck do I want to own this building anymore? And, one after the next, it's starting slow, but there's a big movement here to try to fight this because guys are going to just walk away from their buildings.
Yeah.
Let them go into foreclosure, and they'll become like ghost buildings.
Yeah, they want to do. No, they want to. He wants to socialize all housing. They want to socialize medicine. They want to take over all housing, make every unit in New York a friggin' housing project, which will absolutely fail. It's failed everywhere it's been tried before. What about the Jewish population? I understand that attacks on hate crimes against Jewish people up 8% since this man took office. He is an Islamist first, by the way. I believe he is an Islamist. This is why all these radical imams can stomach his radical loving of LGBTQIA+. He's using them for their votes, but he's an Islamist. Are they beginning to wake up in the Jewish community?
I can't say they are, Rob. And, we got a great Jewish community here in New York City. You know that. Strong family values, religious. But, I was lucky enough last year to go on the Newsmax mission to Israel.
Wow.
And Chris Ruddy set it up so that we were able to get a little bit of a roundtable forum with President Herzog.
Yeah.
And we were allowed to ask some questions. And, they were providing us a lot of factual information because they wanted us to bring back the true story of what's really happening over there.
Yeah.
And I asked President Herzog, we want to bring the right message back to America about what happened in Israel on October 7th and everything. But can you help us from Israel with Jewish people in America and ask them to stop voting for Democrat socialists?
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing this. And President Herzog gave me a polite punt on the answer and referred it to the prime minister.
Well, it's because they love. They love their politics more than they love their faith. That's all there is to it. I want to move on to the ethnic neighborhood map. If you put together an ethnic neighborhood map of New York City's boroughs, all of the areas, number one on the list would be Little Italy. Wouldn't it be Little Italy be number one on the list? And he left it out. He left out several ethnic neighborhoods in favor of Little Palestine. How did that go over, bro? Because I know in Little Italy they were pissed.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm one of the founding members under our Jefe, Roger Stone. But I'm one of the founding members of the Italian American Civil Rights League.
Brother, I love it.
And last Friday on Wise Guys, we shot the show from Mulberry Street, and we had an Italians Against Mamdani protest.
I love it.
And Italians are ticked off, Rob. And, I said on my show last week, I said, if it was a Family Feud question, the Fast Money round at the end, if it was a Family Feud question and they said, name an ethnic neighborhood in New York City, Little Blank.
Yeah.
99 out of 100 people would say Italy.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
It was a slap in the face, bro. It was a really, really reckless slap in the face. And I'm going to tell you, I think people have had enough of this nonsense. Irish, look at English, Irish, Germans, Italians all came together, Greeks, and they built New York City. They built it, and many of them in poverty, hanging on high beams, welding buildings together, the tallest skyscrapers in the entire world, busting their asses to build that city. And this punk comes in who's done nothing in his life, and he's going to tell you how you're going to live your life. This is going to, my expression here is homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews come together to save America, and I think it's going to happen. Dude, and New York City is ground zero for that movement, and not only ground zero, but ground zero from that moment.
Rob,
I swear.
You're dialed in to saying it's a slap in the face. It's not unintentional. It's not by accident. I want to point something out to you. Many people may not realize this, but Staten Island, New York, which is known as Richmond County, has the highest number by percentage of Italian Americans in the entire country. We're the number one county for Italian Americans in the country, okay? And Richmond County, Staten Island, New York, voted 67% for Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
And we voted 67% for Donald Trump.
I know.
Okay?
Listen,
I'm no big fan of Cuomo.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? The Republicans in Staten Island who come out for Trump, they came out for Cuomo and held their nose.
Yeah. Listen.
At the end of
John,
the day,
go ahead.
Zohran Mamdani knows us Italians are in Staten Island, and that's why he did it.
All right, so listen, we got to run, John Tabacco. I appreciate it. I want to have you on more often. Whatever you need, we're here for you. Please send our love and our prayers to Mr. LoBaido. He is a warrior supreme, and so are you, bro. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Rob Carson, the bomb. Thanks.
All right, let's take a break and come back. It's the Rob Carson Show. I was a little late.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive.
Hi, guys. How are you? Hello, Valentina Sportek. Escape New York. Yeah. Valentina. Leslie Ladyhawk. There was someone from England who said hi earlier. It was Kathleen from England. Hello. Love your show. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. We live here, A10. My mom has TDS. I know. So does my ex-wife. Ron is getting turned into a parking lot. There you go. Paid paralyzed. Was never paralyzed, though, was it? No. Oh, hello, Wild Bill West. What's going on? Picking lots of tomatoes already? Wait a minute, you're picking tomatoes already? Where do you live? Great sermons. I don't know what you are. Greater Israel. I don't know what that is. If you are here to promote things that I'm going to say, no, you can't be a part of the conversation. Conserve 1974. Hello. Nice to see you there as well. Looking over here on the Twitter. What's going on over here on the Twitter? There we are. Rob Carson Show. Been a busy week. I'm going to explain what happened in Minnesota next. How's that sound? I think it sounds good. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, here we go. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the show. Getting through the last few days. Keep me in your positive thoughts and prayers if you would. I could use them. All right, here we go.
FM in Harford County.
Yeah, my 315 here.
Thank you. This is Harmeet Dillon talking with John Solomon. And after what happened in New Jersey with 6,600 illegals registered to vote and 400 of them voting actually in the election, in an election, she is telling everyone in every state that if you allow illegal votes of any kind, government officials will be prosecuted.
All 50 states get this letter in the last week.
They did. They got them yesterday, actually, and I saw some, hyperventilating from some, including I think Lieutenant Governor in Utah, who's also the election official, and she seemed to think she was being persecuted because Utah is refusing to hand over their voter rolls in our civil litigation. No, Deirdre, this is not aimed at you. It is for everybody, and in fact, many election officials are lawyers. They know this, but no one has been enforcing these parts of our laws, and we're enforcing them. We're enforcing them against people who voted illegally. There are criminal prosecutions ongoing in that regard, and we're going to enforce them against the people whose responsibility is to ensure that doesn't happen. Yeah,
that moment when we discovered the illegal voters in New Jersey killed the Democrat narrative that illegals can't vote. There's only one reason why Democrats want illegals to have driver's licenses, because that's an ID. That's enough to get them to vote. That's enough to get them on the voter rolls and register them to vote. And why do you register people to vote? To vote. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Donald Trump was asked by Wayne Root. Wayne Root was talking. He says, if they never fail to save the Save America Act, you have the right to declare a national emergency for elections. If you declare a national security emergency as a president of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. And we know, and the mainstream media absolutely ignored the presser when Donald Trump showed that 220 million voter identities had been stolen by communist China. That's enough for an emergency. That's enough for an emergency. Donald Trump, in response to whether or not he will declare a national emergency, said to Wayne Root, let me just say that stranger things have happened, okay? So, you know what? We have dealt with corruption. We have dealt with this nonsense, being told that we can't think certain things. We can't believe the obvious is true with regard to voting in the United States of America. There is a great deal of corruption in voting in the United States of America, and it's all on the Democrat side. Okay, there you go. I just said it. Allegedly. All right? If I need to say it allegedly, I need to. You get to a point where you're just done with the nonsense, getting tired to prove the people who think the sky is green that the sky is blue. All right? We're not stupid. We know the only reason Democrats can win is because they cheat, because they have nothing to vote on them that's positive at all. Next hour, going to get into the races in Minnesota and how they made the same mistake in Wisconsin as they're doing in Minnesota, but they're going to pay for that in November. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
Hold it now. Live from Newsmax Studios in Washington, D.C., the most interesting, informative, and funny show in America, on air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The weird. I know that sounds silly, but that's what they are. Weird people, weird policies. And if you needed another reminder of what that party has become, here is the Catholic governor of Massachusetts, a woman who is married to another woman who has no biological children in the second most Catholic state in America, signing a bill that allows abortions up to birth in the state of Massachusetts.
Unbelievable.
She is surrounded by a group of truly sick women, all smiling, all clapping for the death of babies.
Do you ever notice that women are the only ones who fall in love with death row inmates? You ever notice that? Men don't do that. Yeah, men don't do that.
The left has gone from normal to this. Clapping for murder, clapping for killing babies, meaning we went from this to what just happened in Massachusetts.
We can support a woman's right to choose that makes abortion safe, legal, and rare, and reduces the number of abortions.
The left has gone from safe, legal, and rare to we just don't care.
It's unbelievable. That's Rob Finnerty, by the way, another brilliant monologue by Rob Finnerty about the Democrat Party just being off the rails, just being insane. And there's a point where you've got to, as a human being, you've got to step forward and go, I can't be with this. I can't have anything to do with this. This is monstrous. This is monstrous. Gender transitioning children. Did you fall into that? Did you ever buy into that? I hope you didn't, because if you did, you fell for it. If you believe that children could be able to decide that they want to change their gender, which is impossible, and we're cool with puberty blockers and monstrous surgery that would make these children mutilated eunuchs for life, you need to reevaluate yourself, and you need to maybe look at how you digest propaganda, because that's absurd and sickening. If you are ever down with boys becoming girls to beat girls in sports and destroy their lives, you become a monster. Can you come back from that? I don't know. I hope so. And they softened us up with a lot of things. They convinced us that standing 6 feet from someone versus 5 feet from someone would save your life with a virus that was made by our government in China. And then they made us believe that we needed to keep our children out of school for a couple of years, destroying their lives. And then you said, we can't go to church now because of the virus? Okay, we won't go to church. What? That's when I knew the breaking point was right there. I was like, oh boy, we are in serious trouble if the government can tell you you can't go to church or you can't have a family gathering. That's Communist China. But I think Americans have had enough of it. I do. I really, really do. Really do. Yesterday in Wisconsin, they got it wrong. Everybody was convinced that socialist Francesca Hong was going to win. She was way out in front. As of Monday, had a 95.5% chance of winning. And everybody was talking about yesterday about her going on to in the race to run against Tom Tiffany, and that there there's a real good chance that she could beat Tom Tiffany. No. So they got this David Crowley now, because the Democrat Party realized, and this is, I told you, I saw the DSA are like the smelling salts for the few remaining common sense Democrats out there. You run that under your nose and you're like, whoa, what the hell? It's a bridge too far. In Michigan, Abdul El-Sayed barely won. They said he was going to win by a big margin. He barely won up there, which means 1/4 of the voting populace versus 1/2 of the voting populace with the Republican candidate up there. So I told you that I didn't believe. I have faith in America. I have faith that there are got enough people in America who love America that we will fight to save America, and that's what I think we're seeing. We're seeing as a result. I got to give some other election results. South Carolina primary voters selected Lindsey Graham's daughter over or sister over challenger Mark Lynch. And will return to the polls in a special election to choose the new nominee after Graham's death. Angie Craig has consistently polled behind front-runner Peggy Flanagan. Flanagan won in the state of Minnesota, and so did Michelle Tafoya. Michelle Tafoya, a sports broadcaster as well. She's going to be facing Peggy Flanagan in the state of Minnesota. Here is Michelle Tafoya's ad for Senate in Minnesota.
Criminals stole millions from Minnesotans at places like this quality Leering Center because far-left Democrats didn't have the spine to stop them. I'm Michelle Tafoya, and I'm at the epicenter of our embarrassment today. As your senator, I'll pass tougher prison sentences, deport non-citizen fraudsters, and strip federal funding from states that won't do audits. No accountability, no more money. I'm Michelle Tafoya, and I approve this message because I will protect Minnesota taxpayers.
Does anything in that ad say, I'm crazy? Does anything in that ad say, I am a lunatic fringe, whatever? Anything? Let's listen to Peggy Flanagan on a podcast with a man pretending to be a woman.
I cannot tell you how proud I will be to see her serving in the U.S. Senate. I know we cannot yet send a trans person to the Senate.
You imagine the guy who says, that's my girlfriend.
But as far as I'm concerned,
I'm not thinking that's a guy.
Minnesota, we couldn't do worse than sending Peggy. So yeah, I am going to turn it over to you.
Listen to this.
I love you. I'm happy to be here with
all he says is kind of oily sheen on her face. It's kind of weird.
And take it away,
it's
Lieutenant
weird.
Governor.
Here she is.
Well, thank you so much.
Sorry, she, them, they, it, and butts are why.
Representative Mickey, I love you too. And I am so grateful to be in this fight with my sister. And we're going to get it
My sister with a penis.
Done.
Yeah.
Buju, Peggy Flanagan, Addition Kaz, Giju Wewadamokwe, and Dago.
Abdul Jabbar.
My name's Peggy Flanagan. Yeah. My Ojibwe name, or my native name, is Speaks in a Loud and Clear Voice Woman. I'm a member of...
it actually means glazed over eyes, looks like crazy horse.
White Earth, and my family's the Wolf Clan. And the role of our clan is to ensure that we are never leaving anyone behind, which is why I am exactly where I am supposed to be right now on this call with all.
Okay, let's compare that to this again here.
Criminals stole millions from Minnesotans at places like this quality Leering Center because far-left Democrats didn't have the spine to stop them. I'm Michelle Tafoya, and I'm at the epicenter of our embarrassment.
Okay, there's Michelle Tafoya. Let's listen to some more Peggy Flanagan talking about she's pro-child mutilation.
Because let's be clear. This is life-affirming and life-saving health care.
No, it isn't. You see, kids who get fall into this mental illness, believing that they can be the other gender, they have a mental illness. You see, and what they do frequently is say, "Mom and Dad, let me become the opposite sex, or I'll kill myself." That's the reason, and that's why Democrats say it's life-changing and life-saving. Because if you actually mutilate your child because they want to be mutilated, then they won't kill themselves anymore. I know.
When our children tell us who they are.
Yeah, I wanted to be a fireman. Yeah, I wanted to be Superman. I did. I wanted to be Superman. I was this close to jumping off the roof of our house.
It is our job as grown-ups.
Would not have ended well.
To listen and to
I was 4.
Believe them.
No. You don't do that with your children. You give them guidance and you say, that's not a really good idea, and I'm an adult, and so I'm saying that you really shouldn't try that because it would be crazy if you did.
That's what it means to be a good parent.
No, it doesn't. It does not. Being a good parent doesn't say to your daughter, have a sheath of flesh removed from your arm or leg, fashion it into a faux penis, and hang it like a finger or an ear waiting for transplant between your legs. I got friends in Pennsylvania, and one of their friends' kids was 17 when she began the transition to being a boy. And guess what? She pees out of 2 places now. I wish I were making that up. Meanwhile, Michelle Tavoya.
Today, as your senator, I'll pass tougher prison sentences, deport non-citizen fraudsters, and strip federal funding from states that won't do audits. No accountability, no more money.
Wow, that's interesting. So she's going to get rid of the illegals in Minnesota who've stole billions of dollars. The Somalians, they're Somalians, and 89% of them are on welfare, and they stole billions and billions of dollars. But meanwhile, here's Peggy Flanagan.
I support ripping ICE apart and holding them accountable.
She got by in the state of Minnesota, unlike Michelle Hong, or Francesca Hong, because of the DFL. The DFL has a vote machine there, and they will ensure whoever the most radical candidate is will become the candidate, and that's what they did. I don't know about Minnesota. I'm hoping that enough people with common sense will come together, like they're going to do in Michigan, I believe, against El Sayed, and say enough is enough is enough. Peggy Flanagan is too extreme for us to be represented in the United States. Here's a little bit more. Here she is dressing up in a hijab, supporting her Somali brothers and sisters who stole billions of dollars from the state of Minnesota with fraudulent leering centers and stuff.
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Peggy Flanagan. I am the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, and I'm really honored and humbled to be here with all of you today. I am incredibly clear that the Somali community is part of the fabric of the state of Minnesota.
Well, they're part of the fabric for sure. I mean, they're certainly, they've gotten a lot of freebos from the state and really haven't contributed a lot. Michelle Tafoya.
I'm Michelle Tafoya, and I approve this message because I will protect Minnesota taxpayers.
I don't know. You know, I lived in Minnesota. Minnesota, like so many Democrat-run states, are controlled by the population centers, and the people in the hinterlands get run over. Okay, and this has happened all over the country. It happens in Maryland. It happens in Pennsylvania. It happens in in Michigan. It happens in wherever. And you got to decide if enough is enough for the general population of the state to throw off this insanity. And I'm thinking that Minnesota, like Michigan, want to throw off this insanity of this DSA, because the DSA, I believe, it's imploding on itself. It's imploding on itself. I got more on this coming. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Here's the deal.
County.
Gonna rejoin.
Who would not want voter ID? Only somebody that wants to cheat.
Duh.
With my sister. And we're going to get it done. Buju, Peggy Flanagan, and Dishnakaz, Gijuewedamukwe, and Dago, Guabaga, Ganakagna Dunjaba, Manganodame. My name's Peggy Flanagan. My Ojibwe name, or my native name, is Speaks in a Loud and Clear Voice Woman. Okay. I'm a member of White Earth, and my family is the Wolf Clan.
The Wolf Clan. She's the one member of the Wolf Clan. Okay. It's Peggy Flanagan. She's going to be running against Michelle Tafoya for Senate in the state of Minnesota. Yesterday, Michelle, or I always call her Michelle. Why do I call her Michelle? Francesca Hong, she got beat in the state of Wisconsin. Everybody was sure she was going to win. Everybody was sure she was going to win. But you know, this is what the polls do. They try to tamp down the vote. In the state of Wisconsin, the Democrats suddenly realized after seeing, and listen, Hassan Piker won in Michigan. Why aren't you feeling the joy? Why aren't you proceeding with this big tent with the Democrat Socialists of America? Why aren't you all in? Why did you suddenly decide that your guy should be David Crowley? Oh, because you're realizing, holy crap, we were so desperate to throw in behind the DSA after the faceplant we did in Maine, where we supported a Nazi who allegedly raped women and had a kick profile in his 40s, and you were willing to do that. We were willing to vote for them, and you realized he was going to get beaten. You got rid of him. Yesterday, this Francesca Hong, that was a late-term abortion. That's what that was like. She could have been born yesterday, and they killed her before, just like they're doing in Massachusetts. Yeah, I know. There's a point where you can't believe that this is a reality. That the Democratic Party is so bloody desperate that they would say, oh, yeah, we'll take anything. We will take Nazis. We will take everything. Here is Adam Schiff just a couple weeks ago. Oh, yeah, we're a big tent party. This was talking about the guy who had the Nazi tattoo, the guy who had the kick profile, and all of this, and then the DSA coming in who want to get rid of the Senate, who want to get rid of the southern border, who want to get rid of the military, who want to get rid of the election of the president, who want to get rid of prisons and wants to get rid of police. And Adam Schiff thought that there was enough support for that insanity that he would let it become a part of the Democrat Party.
Over a third, actually, of Democrats now identify as, we've got a new poll out here at CNN tonight, which finds about just over a third, actually, of Democrats now identify as Democratic socialists. 59.
Oh, there we go. We got to get in on the Democrat socialists because we're so desperate.
9% of them, right? So 60% are younger than the age of 45.
Yeah.
Are you on board with this? Do you see this as, accept this, that this is where your party's going? And are you good with it?
They're all people who have never done anything in life. They're overeducated, have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. They're angry. They're indoctrinated. Do you want to welcome into the party to completely upset everything and destroy the party?
Look, I think we're a big tent party. I think we should be a big tent party, and I would rather be in that big tent in the majority than be a smaller party that is stuck forever in the minority.
Well, you are now officially in the throes of the death of your party. There you go. And yesterday, the Democrat Party had some smelling salts run up under its nose and said, holy crap, we cannot let Francesca Hong be the candidate because they knew she was going to be beaten. Late-term abortion, that's what it was. Yeah. Mike Lindell lost in Minnesota last night. We're going to start seeing a lot more My Pillow commercials because Michelle Tafoya actually ended up winning the race up there. Here's why he lost.
Here's what I propose is I want to make...
her name is Lisa Demuth, by the way, not Michelle Tafoya.
Conditional non-resident visas. And this would be, I'm going to actually talk to the president about this, but I want to start with...
He was going to give amnesty to people who have been here, even within the last 6 months.
Minnesota. These conditional non-resident visas, you would have 6 months. Anyone's here that is an illegal immigrant He comes in, you get checked in the courthouse, you get fingerprinted, you get checked in to get this conditional non-resident visa. Now you have 6 months to do that. You're not a citizen, but you don't have to leave ever, as long as you...
Yeah, if you sneaked in illegally, even 6 months ago, all you got to do is go down the courthouse, and you won't have to worry about getting deported.
A couple of things happen.
Yeah.
One is you can't commit a crime be convicted of a crime of a gross misdemeanor or better. Okay. Right now we have 1,300 people in Minnesota that are in our prisons that are illegal. We pay $110 million a year to house them. Yeah. They need to be shipped out. Okay.
Yeah. The president is not going to go for this.
Let me finish the plan, Esme. So you have this, and now at the end of the 6 months, if these people,
6 months,
if they want to go get a driver's license, they can go get a driver's license.
Yeah, okay, you're going to go ahead and give them frickin' driver's license too. Are you out of your nut? Are you back on the sauce?
But just like when I used to get DWIs.
Oh, dear God, if he threw that in there, that's good.
Conditions on my driver's license. They will have to get a driver's license, but they will have to learn to speak English and to read our signs here. Okay, that's going to be one of the conditions.
By the way, that is
if you want to drive.
That's what cost him his chance. By the way, that's what caused him to lose. And you know, when I heard that last week, I was like, oh boy, that is not a good thing. Here is Lisa Demuth, her ad versus that man.
St. Paul, I fought the fraud and stood up to the radical far left. I'm Lisa Demuth. Under one-party Democrat control, Minnesota became a magnet for fraud. Fake Somali daycares stealing our money and handouts for illegal immigrants. When Tim Walz cowered, I ended taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants and said no to tax hikes because we shouldn't pay for their fraud. Amy Klobuchar won't end the fraud.
No.
I will.
Lisa Demuth, fearless for Minnesota.
I'll tell you what, her and Michelle Tafoya are something else. They are a force to be reckoned with. And they both had a similar take. No more of this illegal bullcrap and all of the fraud and whatnot. There you go. And then there's Mike Lindell, dopey Mike Lindell. I met Mike Lindell. I didn't talk to him very long. I'll just leave my judgment of Mike Lindell out of it. I don't have any problem with Mike Lindell. His pillows are wonderful. I love the pillows. My pillows. I've had one forever. But that just killed it. That just ruined it. When you say, oh yeah, well, you've been here for 6 months, and I know you're faking your kid being on having autism there, and you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars there for your Leering Center where there's no children. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you go down to the courthouse and fill out some paperwork, and then you're going to get a driver's license, but you can't be driving drunk and whatnot, and then you can become... Honestly, Mike, wow. Woo! Sell some pillows! Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Hey guys, it's Carson. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. A, that it works, and B, that you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have changed, including mine, and we'd like you to hear a few of their stories. Chris has spent years of doing physical work, leaving his feet sore at the end of the day. After starting Relief Factor, he felt so good, he did something he'd never done before. He ran a half marathon. Now he tells all his friends about Relief Factor. I can still move furniture, I can still ride my mountain bike, I can still lift heavy weights, and Relief Factor makes all of those tasks pain-free for me. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. Again, ReliefFactor.com or 800-4RELIEF.
Deported. Deported. Deported.
Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghostbed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghostbed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghostbed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghostbed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghostbed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghostbed. For a limited time during Ghostbed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. This is awesome bumper music. Come on! Come on!
Hey, seems to me this is pretty good news. It is good news, and I could not help but note that the annual rate of core CPI inflation, that's excluding food and energy. We want energy out of it because of the matter in Iran. Take that out. 2.5% in July. What? That's back to where it was prior to the start of the Iran conflict. This tells me that inflation is not spreading out beyond energy, beyond gasoline prices.
Well, that is just crazy because, you know, we're in the middle of a war and everything, and the Democrat Party is concerned about affordability and everything. And, oh, wow, crude was at $75 a barrel last week. Meanwhile, we were involved giving $250 billion to Ukraine, and Joe Biden was prepared for oil to go over $200 a barrel for whatever time it took. And in that time, of course, it took, filling up my car, $94. Joining us to talk about this is Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, Project Sentinel President and 2020 Trump Campaign National Security Advisor. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, Rob. Good to be on with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I saw the inflation rate was 0.1%. So if you take that out to 1 year, it'd be 1.2%, which is wow. And this in the middle of this conflict. What do you suppose that maybe that the war is not disrupting the economy as much as we thought, and maybe some of the policies that Donald Trump has enacted are finally working?
Yeah, I think people who live in the real world, like you and I, see that, like gas is a little bit up, but nowhere near as much as it was during the Biden time. Just saying, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. And when you consider the power of the economy, and there was Rich Lowry did an editorial about our amazing economy in the New York Post. And I'm not associated with him or the Post. I'm just saying it just outlined how much benefit people actually do get from this evil capitalist economy. Apparently, we have the best standard of living. And one of the great ironies of this article, I recommend people to see it. I think it's on my X feed. He talks about how stupid people get more money than other countries. Like, that's probably true because they're better paid. There's more economic opportunity, and people make 60% more here than they would in England for the same job. Just saying.
Yeah, and
so everything is going great guns.
Well, you look at what happened, and I followed this obviously, as it was happening. Watched what happened when Joe Biden decided to increase the size of the federal government by 40% during COVID. Yeah. Watched him print money, and I watched it in real time. I was selling cars. Yeah. Okay, I watched and I use the example, boneless chicken breast at Walmart used to be $1.88 a pound reliably for years. Now it's $2.98 on sale. And you look at at Sam's Club, they got these containers of sliced turkey or sliced ham. They went to $14. They're back to like $9 now. It's crazy. But it was, and then let's talk eggs. Let's talk about eggs. You used to be able to fill your shopping cart at Walmart, fill your shopping cart with $250. Now you fill the bottom of it. And I watched the price of houses double. And I was in the car business, bro. A car that was $35,000 in 2019 is $55 to $60 now. A truck that was $55 in 1999 is $85 now. That's just it. Yeah. And it wasn't Donald Trump.
Yeah. So it's very clear that whatever's going on. And by the way, I'm a local elected official here. I'm just telling you that nobody seems to be panicked about the war. It seems like people recognize that, the Iranians been up to no good, that most people recognize, we had to do something about it. And even people like Hillary Clinton at some point were saying on the left that they would do something about Iran if they were elected. So I think people need to settle down. I think President Trump's doing well. I wouldn't worry about the economy or the war when it comes to midterms. I think we're doing pretty well.
Well, I was talking to John Tabacco on Newsmax earlier, and you have these spoiled entitled children who have. There was one woman. She's a member of the DSA, and she's $500,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I feel bad for her, but what kind of university system would say, okay, $500,000 in student loan debt is cool. That's a 30-year mortgage that you're hitched to, and you will have nothing left after it. You will have no ability to have a mortgage. You'll have no ability to buy a new car. None of that with $500,000 in student debt. And this is why Joe Biden wanted to wipe off the student debt, because he wanted to get those voters, those now DSA voters. But it is a travesty, bro. And I got to tell you, higher education needs to be slapped. And they need to be downsized, and they need to be gutted, and they need to and like one of the things Trump is doing is telling universities, get rid of degrees unless you can guarantee that you will be able to make a living doing what you're doing.
I think it's important. So when I came through college, do you want to guess how much student debt I had after my 4-year degree, Rob?
I'll see if yours is lower than mine. Go ahead.
Nothing. I had nothing because I was paid for by a scholarship by the Ohio Army National Guard, and that's it. I got me through college. I had no debt.
I had $3,500. I had $3,500.
That's not bad.
But I didn't get any help from my folks, and I was making $3.35 an hour with minimum wage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we all found a way to get through without significant debt. Period.
Look at this, Tony. You and I in college, we ate ramen noodles. I didn't have fresh produce for 4 years. I didn't have a cell phone, and you got kids who have $1,200 phones who buy $7 coffee and get Uber Eats delivered to their apartment, and they're saying that the living standard is terrible.
Yeah, they say that capitalism failed them.
What'd you think? Did you watch that Francesca Hong defeat last night? Democrats performed a late-term abortion on her.
Something's going on with that,
man.
Because first off, the guy, she was supposedly 20 points up in polls. That turned out not to be true.
Yeah.
And there's some shenanigans going on with even Kornacki on MS Now, whatever they are, was shocked on the air when they told him that 5 thumb drives where the votes were missing. It's like, yeah, there's shenanigans going on. So
it sounds like maybe Democrats might have done what they do to Republicans to a fellow Democrat.
Yeah, and they've done that before.
You know, should I fight for Francesca Hong to be the candidate? Because I'd much rather have her run, and obviously the Democrats would not want. They do not want her to run.
Yeah. No, I was gunning for her. I was like, yeah,
I know, me too. Me too. But, you know, this kind of puts a pall on this idiotic March 4th by the Democrat Socialist of America. I like to say they are Lord of the Flies meets Orwell's 1984. They're a bunch of children who have no life experiences, and they think they could just suddenly force their way in, tell everybody that what they're doing is wrong, follow us down this road that we've been taught in academia that has always failed. Go ahead.
So I'm interested because even AOC, who is like nuttier than a fruitcake, soaked in crack, is backing off the whole woke. Woke one was like, no, woke two is just as nuts, just it camouflages it better.
Yeah,
and they're trying to put out all these Democrat socialists, which are communists.
Yeah.
And they can't call them communists because if you're a communist, it's against the law to be running for office and stuff.
You know what happened? You have you've seen that like Wile E. Coyote, and he takes the keg of TNT, it's got a hole in it, and it leads, and then the Roadrunner lights the fuse, and it goes. What AOC is doing is trying to put the TNT the gunpowder out before it hits her ass. That's what she's trying to do because she was down with all of this. She was down with all of this, and she's afraid it's going to blow up her chances of becoming the president. Let's take a break and come back, Tony. I got much more I want to get to, including Iran, on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show. My theme song right here.
There is no more incredible man on this earth.
Come on. That is a group called Smoove, S-M-O-O-V-E. Their take on Spencer Davis Group, I'm a Man. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer, I saw this picture of this coven of witches gathered around the Massachusetts governor, Maura Healey, as they applauded the signing into law of a bill that would allow women to abort their babies up to birth. My God in heaven, what have we become?
So, I mean, after the third trimester, it's a baby. Yeah. It's alive, and the idea that you have something that is pure evil. This is pure evil,
brother.
That you could have this done. One of the people in that picture, the one she gave the pen to, apparently named her aborted fetus after the doctor who killed it. How sick is that? How absolutely sick is that?
See,
these people do that.
It's a, I don't know what the mental illness is, but you've got women who fall in love with Luigi Mangione. Women were the followers of Charles Manson. Liberal women, honestly, they fall in love with death row inmates. I don't know what this illness is, but this just crossed the line into being married to Satan, as far as I'm concerned. Dear God, we've got to do something about this, Tony.
Well, I don't know why this has become something acceptable. Because the left said that abortion would be rare and, something not of that would not be significant. But of course, they lied about that. And what's interesting is that, and I deal with my, minority colleagues all the time. It's like, dude, the person who came up with the Sanger was a racist, and the majority of these abortions are still against minority communities.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Think about this. There's a reason why the black population has been stuck between 12 and 13% for the last 200 years.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, and where do you find abortion clinics in America's big cities?
Exactly.
In black neighborhoods, on streets named after civil rights leaders. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm not either. It's like, how do you guys not get that? Hey, the racism that you all hate, it's in your own party, and they're doing things to you.
But look at this. What has happened is the left, since Roe v. Wade, has convinced women that their most valuable contribution, their most valuable thing that could ever happen in their life, is not gestating a baby and having a child. And it's so glorious when you have it happen, my God in heaven, but rather to kill the child. It's a complete reverse psychology. And if they repeated it and they repeated it and they repeated it, and now then killing your baby became this empowering feminist trope. And we've had 60 million babies killed since then. It really is. It's just madness. It's evil. It's evil.
It's going to take somebody waking up to this on their side. Unfortunately, we on the conservative side, we get it. We see it. We've criticized it, but this is their issue. This is their literal cross to bear and die on. Because it's so evil. And so until the Democrats decide that maybe life is more valuable than death. And what's ironic is, they're big on gun control. We don't want to have kids get a hold of guns in houses. But man, oh man, they're sure willing to allow them to be dead before they're born.
This goes with this. Like Rosie O'Donnell had a tattoo of her non-binary child's pronouns tattooed on her arm because her son said, "I'm non-binary" when he was 10. And she said, "Oh, okay, you're non-binary. Okay." See, I don't know what it is, and it's liberal, crazy cat lady women who are very prone to, I guess, this kind of suggestion. Thank God there are some brilliant and intelligent women out there running for office, like Michelle Tafoya. Thank very much. Yeah, that was a good victory too last night, by the way. And this DeMuth, who beat Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell really did a faceplant on saying that anybody who's been here within the last 6 months, even up to the last 6 months, should get amnesty and a driver's license. He ended it. He destroyed it. Even his Trump endorsement didn't save him last night.
Yeah, well, the Trump endorsement, I think, was more pro forma because of his past loyalty than any real effort to get him across the finish line. Yeah. I've never met Mike Lindell. I mean, he's done some good, bad things, but that was Just self-defeating.
It was stupid. We haven't even covered Iran. It's just why I have you on. So I normally have you on. What's happening? Where are we going? When is this going to end? How's that?
So the strangulation of the economy is working. As much as our economy is booming, theirs is failing. There's something like 256% inflation. Their money's worth nothing. You can't find food. You can't find water to drink. Just give it some time. By the way, I think we should have tried this first before we went into the full decapitation thing you're saying. But let's this play out. I think we've got some time before the midterms. Like you pointed out, Rob, our economy's doing great.
Yeah.
Let's just give this some time to strangle off their economy.
Yeah, and also I talked to Blaine Holt yesterday, and he is pretty convinced that there are forces rising within Iran that are going to take over, and they're going to be weak enough.
I agree.
Yeah, I do too, brother. Listen, we normally talk about things military, and I'm glad to hear your take on these other things. And that posting of that picture of that woman smiling when Maura Healey signed a death warrant, I don't even, I'm at a loss for words that people like that exist, and I'm glad you exposed it, and we are warriors for Christ and warriors for God and our country, brother. I appreciate you being on the show, man. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk again soon. Let's take a break. Let's take a break and come back. It's the Rob Carson Show.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving, so it's not so...
Yeah, it is the Rob Carson Show. It was nice to talk to Tony Schaefer about that ridiculousness in the state of Massachusetts. I mean, honestly, just evil. Just evil. You ever see the Witches of Eastwick? You ever see that? 3 women, they go and they fall into the spell of Jack Nicholson, who is Nicholson. Yeah. Yeah. They always confuse Jack Nicholson, Jack. And they end up being impregnated by him and all. I mean, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I think we need to hear some maybe some comedy. What do you think? Here is let's do the El Sayed song. Yesterday, I'm not going to set it up. Normally, I set it up with a news story or whatever. But this Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, he's. I think that what happened yesterday in Milwaukee is what will happen in Michigan in November. Because if the crazy got out in time for the election to at least have a tight race in Michigan, and El Sayed barely won before the crazy got out there. But we've got a couple months now to explain his crazy, and it's every bit as crazy as Francesca Hong And he's a radical Islamist, too. Here's Jim Gossett with another great standard on the Rob Carson Show.
Michigan's going for Mike.
Oh, this is tight.
Abdul Syed, they don't like. They will tell him to take a hike.
Yeah.
They won't be voting for Abdul.
It's a Midwestern state, by the way. That's Michigan. Some common sense there outside of Ann Arbor.
Abdul is a radical with socialist views. That is why he is going to lose. Says 9/11 was America's fault.
Yeah.
It brought his campaign to a screeching halt.
Hates America.
Michigan, he can never fool. They won't be voting for Abdul.
Screw you, Abdul.
I'm standing in a race, running against someone who believes America deserved 9/11.
Mike Rogers is in the lead.
Come on now.
He's the man that Michigan needs.
Woo!
El Syed ought to concede. Mike says that he's prepared to fight. He's gonna win election night.
There you go. There you go. Jim Gossett. There you go. Jim Gossett, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. All of the things that he has said is going to bite him in the rear end. And especially when Hassan Piker showed up at his little celebration party the day before the election. The day before the election, Hassan Piker shows up, a guy who says that we deserve 9/11. He's the most radical, racist, Islamist, Maoist. He dressed up like Chairman Mao. He says that Chairman Mao is a great leader of the world, even though he killed 70 million of his own people. You think El Sayed is going to win? You're high. He barely survived. He barely got by. And I know that Michigan Democrats are freaking the hell out that he's the candidate, because now we got 75 days or 80 days to expose him like we did Francesca Hong, and Francesca Hong got beaten. So they're freaking. They didn't want him to win. But you get what you get. Let's take a break and come back. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 3 of the show, final hour of the show. Today, as always, we've got much to get to before the end of the show. I think I need to do some good news. Should I do some good news? And everybody knows what that means. It means you get the favorite jingle on the radio show.
We love to win.
Winning, winning, so much winning.
It's lots of winning.
Lots of winning, lots of winning, lots of winning, lots of winning.
Lots of winning.
It's so good. Yeah. It's winning. Check this out. The inflation rate has slowed to a crawl.
Strip out food and energy.
What?
Up 1/10. We're expecting a number closer.
What about affordability? I don't know. You didn't give a crap about it when Joe Biden was president.
0.5% higher. So that's nice. Oh, revisions coming in. This number moves from 0.5 to 0.3. 0.1. 0.1 would be the lightest going back to August of last year.
Yeah.
We would be in November equaling 1/10 last year. That's food, energy, and trade. That comes in up 0.2, half of what we were expecting.
Well, that's kind of nice because when Joe Biden was the president, the first full year of his administration, inflation was 9%, and groceries went up to 20 to 30% during those 4 years. I know this. I suffered through it. Man. It was brutal, and I watched it with a microscope. I've told you this. Salmon you could get on sale for $7.99. You used to be able to get salmon for $7.99. You can't get it under $12 a pound now. You cannot get it under $12 a pound now. Okay, beef. Oh my God, the price of beef. Are you kidding me? You used to be able to get ribeye on sale $9.99. Ribeye now $16.99. Filet $24.99. Yeah, no steak on the menu tonight. There you go. I watched it when I went to Sam's Club, and I'd get these. They're these plastic containers full of sliced meat. You've seen them if you've been to Sam's Club. They the chicken. They got the rotisserie chicken slice. You got the honey turkey, and you got the whatever. They were $7.99, and I saw them go up to $12 or $13 when Joe Biden was the president. And I went back to Sam's Club last week, and they're back down to $8.99. Eggs, of course, were just went through the ceiling. And I told you about my visit to the car dealership I used to go to. You used to be able to buy a TRD Pro 4Runner for $54,000. 2019, that car, $54,000. And that was the high end. It was like, man, I'll tell you what, you sold a $54,000 car today. Holy crap, man. You sold a Super today. Holy crap, man. Because I'm selling, $32,000 Camrys over here. I'm selling Corollas over here for $25,000, $28,000. Well, the Camry's now $40,000. The RAV4, the small SUV, trimmed out is $50,000, and the TRD Pro 4Runner is $75,000. And the fully loaded Tundra is $85.90. Same goes with your oh my God, the F-150 Raptor. Used to be $100,000. Now you go $130, $140. I mean, I don't know how you do this. And then homes. We bought a house. I think we bought it in 2019 for $39,000. $239,000. We sold it for over $400,000. We invested money in it. But you can't, in my neighborhood where I was, where you used to be able to have a $239 house, which is the median, you can't get in for $400,000. That's what happened. Rents went through the ceiling. The house that we rented, we had to rent a crap hole house, $1,800 a month. I know that sounds pretty cheap when you live in Maryland or D.C. or New York. Old house, $1,800 a month. You cannot rent that house for less than $3,000 in Kansas City now. So screw your affordability nonsense. We've already been through it. We've been dealing with it forever. Things have just not come down yet, and Democrats are blaming Donald Trump on it. No, it's not that way. It's not that way. Things are getting better. Here's a little bit longer inflation report from Bloomberg. Pretty interesting stuff.
Well, we're just getting the numbers in, and it looks like we're pretty much spot on the economist's forecast.
What about you guys not paying income tax on your Social Security? How's that feel? Doesn't that kind of feel good? You worked your entire life paying to get your pittance in Social Security, and now Donald Trump says you don't have to pay income tax on it? Isn't that helping things? What about you guys who get tips? Average return $7,000 this year. You ought to be thrilled about that. That's more than Joe Biden did for you.
CPI on a month-over-month basis up 0.1%, the core up 0.2%, which puts us at 3.4% for year-over-year on the headline, and for the core, 2.5%.
Yeah.
Both of those a tick lower than they had been. Let's take a look at some of the categories here that we have seen move. Food up 0.1%.
0.1%.
Down from 0.2
Wow.
in June. It is also food at home decreasing.
What?
0.1%.
What?
Energy decreased 1.5% in July.
Holy hell!
5.7% in June. The gasoline index down 2.9%.
That's the Iran war is causing us $1 million a gallon.
So there is the war effect. The memorandum of understanding did send gasoline prices down for a while. So
yeah. Pretty genius moves, man. Yeah. And honestly, and all the Democrats have done is caterwaul and bitch about everything. Not done a dang thing. Haven't supported our military one little bit. And then bedded down with a bunch of nutbag Democrat socialists. Said that it was okay to invite people to the tent who wanted to destroy the country, shred the Constitution, get rid of the border, get rid of prisons, get rid of the police. Get rid of the police. I know. Get rid of the Senate. Get rid of the popular election of the president, and just have it being appointed by a Politburo. And Democrats went, okay. Do you think we can win with that? Do you think we can win with that? Let him in the tent. Let him in the tent. Let him in the tent. Didn't work out so well last night in Milwaukee, did it? It was kind of interesting. Violent crimes keep falling in America's biggest cities. You know why? Because Donald Trump shut down the border, and Kash Patel sent the FBI into all these cities. Yeah, he did. Violent crime kept falling across the nation's largest cities through June, with homicides down 17% from the first half of 2025. Got even better. 66 U.S. communities found drops in violent crime in the first 6 months of 2026 compared to the same period last year. Homicides down 17%. Robberies down 16, rapes down 6.2, aggravated assaults fell 5.7. These four categories down about 8.3% for roughly 14,200 fewer reports of violent crime across the country. Thank you, Donald Trump. The homicide drops especially striking in several cities that have struggled with violence, and both of these cities Donald Trump has sent the National Guard into. D.C. reported 46 homicides, down 43.9% from the first half of 2025. And I live here, and it is safe and clean, and the fountains are awesome, and it's beautiful. It's stunning. Homicides in Memphis fell 43.7% from 119 to 67. 38% in Houston from 154 to 95. Only places that went up, Honolulu. Jumped 85% from 7 to 13. San Diego, another liberal bastion, jumped 83% from 16 to 29 murders there. Yeah. Council on Criminal Justice analysts found homicides down 18% among 30 reporting cities since the first half of 2026. Oh, and your drugs are a lot cheaper, by the way. Trump RX. I got on Trump RX last night. I was looking up some meds last night for bleeps and giggles, and wow. Nobody in the media is celebrating that. You who are taking prescription drugs, if you've checked it out, or if you don't want to do in vitro fertilization, it's a whole lot cheaper now. It used to be, maybe we'll just adopt or get a dog. Report from Major Cities Chiefs Association found that gun-controlled Chicago has more murders thus far this year than all major cities in pro-gun Florida combined. 211 murders this year. By contrast, Florida's major cities, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, had combined 29 murders. The number of robberies in Chicago also eclipsed the total number witnessed in Florida's major cities. There were 2,168 in Chicago versus 385 in Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. Chicago, like all of Illinois, requires law-abiding citizens to acquire a firearms identification card simply to own a gun for home defense, and subsequently mandates a second document, a concealed carry, in order to carry for self-defense, which is probably impossible to get. 72-hour waiting period on gun purchase, red flag law, assault weapons ban, high-capacity magazine, gun stores laws, Glock switch ban, bump stock ban, regulations on firearms that Democrats refer to as ghost guns. They wanted to do that in the state of Virginia with Abigail Schamberger. Abigail Schamberger, the Trojan horse Marxist who was elected in the state and is getting booed when she goes out to rural events. Here's Abigail Schamberger. She's not giving up the ghost, man. She is as far left as left could be, even though she's getting booed off the stage. She's already a lame duck, by the way. She was out. She was getting interviewed about some Democrat socialists embracing candidates who embrace radical Islam, and she deflected. She didn't say, of course I'm not down with radical Islam. Of course I'm not down with Hamas.
Because there are now people in the Democratic Party who have been openly advocating on behalf of Hamas, who've openly advocated to defund the police, and the question is whether mainstream Democrats like yourself should be speaking out against them or should be embracing them?
The answer would be, well, of course we want the police to be funded. They keep us safe. And Hamas? We have nothing to do with Hamas. Here's her answer.
So I will say this, as the chief executive for the Commonwealth of Virginia, where communities across the board expect their governor to work to keep them safe, to work to strengthen our schools, to work to make life...
Why don't you Democrats do it?
More affordable.
Why don't you do it?
I will be very, very clear in the fact that the way you achieve...
You're not being clear right now. You just skipped over the answer.
That is through having strong public schools, having strong public safety. That means ensuring that...
You know you're not running for office anymore, right? You know that?
Our public safety, that's our police, our fire, our first responders, are not just well paid, but well respected.
It's not working anymore, is it? It's not working anymore. You're not buying this crap anymore, are you? No, I don't think we are. She's already a lame duck, guys. She is. She's. You go out in the middle of the state and people are booing your ass off the stage. It ain't going to work for you. Same thing happened with Zohran Mamdani in New York City. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
CBM.
Got a rejoin.
There you go.
We have to beat them electorally, and then we have to break their spirit. And then we're going to crush their soul.
Oh, really? You and what army?
That was a really stupid thing for him to say. What sort of... Honestly, think about this. You're the leader of a party, and you tell the opposing party you're going to crush their souls. Who the hell says that? Who says that? Have we ever said to you, you idiot Democrat socialists, we're going to crush your souls? Who says it? It's demonic. Really? I mean, who says we're going to crush your souls? I mean, what the hell? When I heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's crazy. The Democrat Party is now in the kind of, and I told you, how many times do I tell you, they're doing a death spiral into hell, and they're dying like movie vampires, dragging, kicking and screaming, trying to drag us down with them, and now the DSA has been invited into the Democrat tent. Just a few weeks ago, it's like everybody's like, "Come on, we don't care. Come on."
My
in.
view is that
Come
we are
in.
a big tent party, meaning we should make room for people with lots of different voices.
You can hate Israel and want the Jews murdered. We don't even care. Come on in.
We are a big tent party, and being a big tent party is a strength, not a weakness.
You can pick whatever you want to pick, but I think we need a big tent.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you guys, they're so desperate for an answer because they don't know. They're not in touch with their voters anymore. They are an island of their own, the leadership in Washington, D.C. They enrich themselves and their cronies. That's the way they are. And they've forgotten you. The Democrat Party, do you even associate the Democrat Party with the working class anymore? Or MAGA? Or MAGA? MAGA is the working party. MAGA is Caterpillar tractors. MAGA is, white Freightliner trucks or Kenworths. MAGA is people working farms and raising cattle. MAGA are welders. They're not Democrats anymore. Democrats are elites. This is a crop of radical leftists. These children, the DSA, children coming in with hundreds of thousands of dollars of school debt, overeducated, no life experience, and they're going to tell you, the truck driver who's been driving that rig for 35 years, that they're going to take over your company. They're going to get rid of the Senate. They're going to get rid of the border. They're going to get rid of prisons. They're going to get rid of electing the president. They're going to get rid of police. You really, you shouldn't have kicked this pit bull. Jake Altman was with the DSA for a very long time, and he says the DSA, the people in charge of the DSA, they do not tolerate internal dissent, more radical than you could ever imagine.
DSA itself makes a distinction, an important distinction, between paper members, who are people who give the organization their credit card and never come to a meeting, and cadre, who are hardcore activist members who show up to all the meetings and do all the work.
Yeah.
The cadre are incredibly radical. The paper members might be, think AOC and Bernie Sanders are great and let's get Medicare for all. That is not the hardcore that's running the organization.
No.
It is not.
No.
They are extremists. They believe, many of them believe, that any means are justified to achieve their goal. They are explicitly revolutionaries.
Yes.
They want to pull down our government institutions. They want to pull down our economic order.
Yeah.
And they believe, they really do believe this, that they can build something better in its place.
The only problem is you've got a country that has been around for 250 years. The Second Amendment has allowed 500 million firearms to be in possession of great Americans who are willing to fight for their country. And you are a bunch of spoiled, entitled little academics. Our military is getting stronger because of Donald Trump. Pride is back, and I'm talking about Pride in America. It's the 250th anniversary of the birth of our country, and we're not going to let these children come in and try to take over. It's laughable. It's like flick you right in the forehead. Just give you a little pick right there. There you go. Honestly, ridiculous. Here's Jake Altman and Doug Schoen. Doug Schoen is an old school Democrat. I can break bread with Doug Schoen all the time, talking about the DSA.
I'm hearing from a lot of voters in Wisconsin. I spoke with people today, and they are quite concerned about Hong. I spoke with Democratic voters who are
Hong got gonged.
Prepared to vote for the Republican candidate. That's how they feel about the direction that the Democratic Party is headed with candidates like El Sayed and Hong.
Well, I don't think it's going to work too well, Laura.
Yeah.
Her past positions are really, really damaging.
They thought she was going to win for sure yesterday.
It's pretty hard to believe that she's suddenly given up on defunding the police and defunding Thanksgiving and all the other positions she's taken.
Yeah, we didn't believe her.
I think this is a real problem for the Democrats, along with Abdul El-Sayed's win and the potential in Minnesota of nominating a progressive with Bernie Sanders support for that race, which is, again, a possible toss-up. I think my party is moving far, far too much to the left and is in dangerous trouble.
Yeah, and I said that they are they're going to have to reinvent themselves or disappear into the dustbin of history. I've been saying that for at least 6 or 8 years. And then there's this Dana Nessel, Michigan AG Dana Nessel, refusing to attend the Democrat convention due to threats from radical anti-Semitic members of the party. What'd I tell you? What happened the last time a party went socialist and anti-Semitic? Think Germany.
Well, look, myself and other Jewish electeds are subjected to a barrage of anti-Semitic threats. And that's been happening literally.
Wow!
Since my first day in office in 2019, long before October 7th.
Well, I thought that Donald Trump was a Nazi and Trump followers were Nazis.
But in addition to that, you know, what we've seen in the Democratic Party as of late in here in Michigan is that we're not seeing the same kind of civil discourse that we used to be able to have. And
you guys did it to yourself.
Ability to have a diversity of ideas and opinions that are, you know, respected.
No, you've been burning the country for 10 years. You've done this to yourself. Here she is talking about the people in the party in her state that are dangerous.
5 members of the Democratic Party who have been charged with anti-Semitic acts of violence, of vandalism and harassment.
From the river to the sea.
And threats to other.
They embrace that.
Democratic officials, some of whom are Jewish.
They say that October the 7th was inevitable and we deserve 9/11.
Including an attack on the Jewish Federation of Detroit. So those people are still permitted to come to the convention. And it's just baffling to me that while these charges are pending, they're going to be allowed to be there.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a big tent and you allow Nazis into the tent and Islamists into the tent. The tent gets burned down. I'm enjoying this. Curtis Houck, managing editor Newsbusters. I love this guy. He joins us next to talk about all sorts of stuff. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
This isn't the end of a fight. It's the start of one. Lioness, the critically acclaimed original series from Taylor Sheridan, returns August 2nd only on Paramount Plus. It's the new season. Hidden networks, foreign operatives, and personal betrayals collide while Joe walks the line between duty and family. Don't miss Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana, Michael Kelly, with Morgan Freeman and Nicole Kidman. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. Doug took Relief Factor for nearly a year before convincing his wife, a special needs teacher, to try it. She had been using assistance just to move through the long hallway at school. Now she's back on her feet every day. Never had to leave the job she loves. I can attest to this. I ride my mountain bike every weekend from 30 to 50 miles. I lift weights, and I'm lifting heavier than I did when I was 30 without pain. People like Doug make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor gave you what you love. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Simply go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us too. relieffactor.com or 1-800-4RELIEF. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghostbed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghostbed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghostbed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghostbed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghostbed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghostbed. For a limited time during Ghostbed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Before we go further, I want to acknowledge that our trans community needs abortion care too. Did they teach you in Sunday school that Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist?
Are anything he just said any more radical than what Francesca Hong was saying until, I guess, last week? Not so much. But apparently he's way ahead in Texas. Okay, sure. And so was Francesca Hong. If I'm not mistaken, on Monday she had a 95% chance of winning. But the Democrat Party performed a late-term abortion. That's what happened. Joining us to talk about this and much more, one of my favorite organizations, Newsbusters managing editor Curtis Houck. How are you, my friend?
Good to be with you, Rob. I'm so glad to see you. Congrats on everything, your success with Newsmax and all that. I always appreciate.
Well, I'm very blessed we are in the Newsmax building. The studio is complete, and so when you're around, you can come into the studio and do a live interview in person. I've got 2 cameras and everything.
I was gonna say I'll be around tomorrow and Friday, right. So I'll stop by and see you after the show.
We will preserve a live spot for you. You tell me, my producer Ken, Redneck MacGyver is what we call him, and we'll have you in studio tomorrow on camera. It'll be cool.
All right.
So what do you think about the loss by Francesca Hong last night? I like to say that the Democrats performed a late-term abortion because she was supposed to win this going away, and the Democrat Party started freaking the hell out. I think Abdul El-Sayed just barely got by in Michigan, and I think Michigan Democrats are regretting that. But a similar scenario here. And it's kind of amazing that she ended up losing. What do you think?
Well, I was trying to think of a way to describe this, and your late-term abortion thing is absolutely correct. I was also talking with one of my colleagues earlier today. The thing that, too, that kind of, I don't know whether it helped Hong or Crowley or what, but you had all of these candidates. You had 4 moderate candidates drop out after early voting and absentee ballots had started. I mean, this goes to what the left was trying to do in the Biden years with H.R. 1 and the For the People Act, and national early in-person voting. Especially in primaries, you have all these yahoos. Mandela Barnes, who finished in 6th place, got 32,500 votes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, another woman got over 32,000 as well. The guy in 4th got 37, and the woman who had dropped out got nearly 60,000 votes. So there's all those votes. People disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And again, I say this as a conservative. I just think, I mean, there should be a better way to do this so that people don't lose out on their vote.
Well, here's what happened. The Democrat Party is so lost. They don't know. They're not in touch with their voters anymore. They purely exist to serve the donor class. They don't
respect their voters.
No, they don't. They don't care. They don't care. Listen, if they did care, then you'd have one person on Capitol Hill in favor of voter ID when 77% or whatever of Democrats want voter ID. Not one on Capitol Hill. 95% of Democrats do not think boys can become girls and compete in girls' sports, but 100% on Capitol Hill do. That's why they don't know what the hell they're doing. So they hear this, this Democrat socialist, holy hell, they got momentum, oh my gosh, this Abdul al-Sayed and all these people, oh hell man, big tent, let them in. And what they did is they invited vampires into the house. And what do vampires do when they get in the house? They kill everybody. And so they pulled the late-term abortion with Graham Plattner, because the only thing that got him out, they didn't care what they would have. The devil himself, they would have said, welcome the devil himself if they thought he could win. But on the Monday before he pulled out, they realized he was behind by 3, and they aborted him. And this happened yesterday with Francesca Hong, and they didn't get al-Sayed in time.
Right. One of the buzzwords that we've noticed at the MRC and a lot of the media coverage, I mean, both from Democratic candidates and liberal journalists as well, but I repeat myself, is Big Tent. They love saying Big Tent for a Big Tent. You're such a big tent that you're letting suicide bombers inside. You're like, wait a second. You let people inside who want to blow the whole thing up because you're seeking a big enough tent. I mean, that was part of al-Sayed's logic. Al-Sayed was like, I can't say something about the death of the Ayatollah because a lot of people are upset right now. I can't really say anything about the attack on the synagogue by the Islamists from Lebanon because, there was, quote, risk involved, Rob, in weighing in because, we want to bring these people into the fold. I don't necessarily know if those are the people that you want to be bringing into any fold.
Yeah, here is
what could happen.
Here is al-Sayed recognizing those in Michigan in the Muslim community who were mourning the Ayatollah.
I also want to remind you guys that there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today. So, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all.
Why were you? There you go. Unbelievable. And then he also, he also is not willing to say that Sharia law should not exist.
Right, yeah, it's a little bit of a nullification. They're channeling their forefathers, Rob, of the Democrat Party pre-Civil War, where, they were all about, we don't need to follow the law, we're just going to, nullify it or just kind of do our own thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I just thought, too, is in Virginia, they have voter ID, and the Democrats still win. So that's one of those things, too, I like to point out, because it's like, well, I know the vote is secure because I have to give them an ID, and then I have to read back my address and all these other things, which is better than, signature verification, that's the big thing in California and other states. Squiggly lines. We're going to match squiggly lines.
By the way, did you see Abigail Scambergler getting booed in rural Virginia? Did you see Mamdani getting booed off stage in Staten Island? See, the bud's off the rose, man. The bud's off the rose.
Right. Well, and also there's a story that came out from our friends in the New York Post late last week that said that Mamdani, he doesn't like the criticism. He's very thin-skinned, apparently. That is the only time that he picks up the phone, that he's very difficult to reach. Even allies of his have said anonymously that he's difficult to get a hold of. Only when people start talking smack about him Then he answers the phone. Isn't that interesting? But one of the things I'll say in the media coverage is, we see in Minnesota and Wisconsin, last week in Michigan as well, is this moderate versus progressive nonsense that we keep seeing here. My colleague Bill D'Agostino did a label study this month looking at socialist far left and progressive populist. The far left is socialist has only been used 21 times, progressive populist 84 times. And that's not even counting moderate. That's the other thing. Moderate is the term they keep using.
Yeah, there's no moderates.
Talk about Angie Craig and Haley Stevens. And the only reason, you could say is moderate, Rob, is because they're like, yeah, the Jews should be allowed to exist.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, and then yesterday you got AOC suddenly saying woke 1.0 was because of COVID. Yeah. She was down with all of it. She was down with absolutely all of it. And right now she's trying to put out the trail of gunpowder leading to her ass from the DSA. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to jump off because she knows that she bedded down with all of this nonsense, and she doesn't want to kill her 2028 chances. By the way, I don't think she has a chance. Go ahead.
Well, I'll just say, too, credit to her about Graham Plattner. Notice she didn't endorse Graham Plattner because she, obviously, the one thing that is actually true about her biography, not much of it is, but the one thing that is true is that she was a bartender for a hot second. And, Plattner was also a bartender. And so it's kind of game recognizes game, I guess, so to speak, and she knew it was very clear that even before some of the stories came out, reporters would ask her on the Hill about Plattner, and she kind of she's always willing to just offer something to the cameras, but it was very clear she didn't want to talk about him at all because she could sniff out, this guy's kind of a creep, even though I agree with him. So credit to her on that, but no, it's interesting. Woke 1 is kind of like BLM, Robin Javon, Ibram X. Kendi, and I guess now Woke 2. I saw this on X yesterday. I guess Woke 2 and Woke 3, I guess their ideological forefathers are like Lenin or something.
Let's continue the conversation on the other side of the break. We've got Curtis Houck, managing editor, Newsbusters. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Life.
How can a communist, Marxist, Maoist have a multi-million-dollar home? Let's ask Hassan Piker.
Your very expensive home stop being a basic. At what point does your very expensive home stop being a basic human necessity and something that essentially reinforces the very system that you're critiquing?
I don't think the purchases that you make necessarily, I mean, if you're buying a private jet, it's a little different, but I don't think the purchases that you make, as long as you're not using it to engage in capital accumulation, imply, something less ethical than whatever purchase you're making in general. I have a house. The reason why it's so expensive is because it's in West Hollywood.
Curtis Houck, managing editor, Newsbusters. That's a typical let them eat cake liberal, isn't it? That's a typical let them eat cake liberal. I live in the Hollywood Hills. You feed on the crumbs. This is just a perfect example.
Never mind. I live in a gated community. I have private security, but, let's defund the police.
Yes.
That's what we saw.
Yes.
You probably have insurance, but I'm fine. I mean, this is the whole thing. I mean, I'm someone who says, yes, everyone should be able to feel safe. It just shouldn't be one way or the other. I mean, that's the kind of, in 2020, I kept saying, all of these journalists talk about defund the police and everything else. And I said, how would you like it if somebody came into your house or your neighborhood and started burning stuff up, or burned your newsroom? And what's frustrating is even like when in 2018 this happened to CNN, some complete idiot, some nut job belongs in with padded walls, set bombs to them. And instead of kind of trying to say, wow, this could happen to anybody, it was all, attack on the First Amendment, oh my gosh, that's Donald Trump's fault. Instead of trying to actually say, well, everyone should be able to feel safe, and I wonder what the president goes through and the threats the president faces. No, it's all about me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Remember when they sent a plane load of illegals to Martha's Vineyard, and they put them up overnight and then sent them out? They want nothing to do with those people. But you can live with them. You in Springfield, Ohio, can have the Haitians live there and have your dog disappear without without a trace.
Raise our kids for us, by the way, too. They need them to be their nannies. They need them to do their yard work because, here in Northern Virginia, people don't actually raise their own. A lot of people don't raise their own kids. They don't actually mow their own lawns, that kind of thing like that. Yeah.
It's I think, and I predicted that the DSA, they're spoiled children. They are moving in here. They think they have some momentum. They feed off their own energy, like Jimmy Kimmel's audience. He thinks he's really popular because he has a well-fluffed audience with signs that say laugh and applaud. And that's the DSA, these spoiled little children. It is Lord of the Flies meets Animal Farm. That's what, and they're going to get their asses handed to them. This movement will be quick, and it'll end. They chose a bad year, the 250th anniversary of our birth and the 25th anniversary of 9/11, Curtis, and they think they're going to take over. I predicted this movement is already ebbing, and it's going to fail. What do you think?
Yeah, the train has left the station. I mean, I think two things. Number one, this is a failure of the country's civic education.
Yes.
At all levels, a lack of understanding about history. As the teaching of history becomes especially more important the further and further you get away from something. Yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, it's a good problem to have that we are now multiple generations past the Cold War, and that there's people now who were not alive during 9/11, because we obviously want our population to grow and improve and evolve and whatnot, but at the same time, because then it becomes incumbent upon us to teach about the evils of the past so that we do not repeat them in the future. The other thing, this is why I say we should fight in our institutions, in our education system, instead of just simply pull back and we're just going to go do our own thing in our own corner over here and hope everything turns out.
Yeah, I think academia is getting an overhaul. We got a long way to go with that. You have this great piece I failed to mention. We have the most gigantic story. We've had some of the most gigantic stories in the history of our nation that have been completely ignored by our leftist media, which is why they are dying on the vine. We have reported now hundreds of billions, maybe trillions of dollars in fraud. The Democrat Party increased the size of the government 40% with COVID and then proceeded to loot the Treasury. It is glaring. It is obvious. There should be stories in every city in America, but they are not covering it all. Why in the hell have journalists given up on an obvious truth? Is it just because it's associated with Democrats? Why?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely true. I've done big studies about how CBS has been the only one to mention it, that they've actually occasionally covered this kind of thing, but otherwise they're not interested in the idea of government fraud. I feel like, the thing is, Rob, covering like fraud and like basic government malfeasance should be like the most basic like levels of journalism and government. Like, even if you're an extreme libertarian, the government should do two things: fight fraud and protect its citizens. The media should do two things: inform the public and fight, fraud and corruption. And so, like, these kinds of stories, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. Like, there's either the adult daycare or it's not. There's either the daycares in Minneapolis or it's not. I mean, it's kind of a yes or no question. And it's a yes or no question: is this doctor billing Medicare for like $300 million and there's no patient? Here's
no question. We've got to wrap up, unfortunately, Curtis Houck. But our liberal media has become Pravda and Izvestia, and I would be completely unsatisfied as a journalist just towing a party line. But there are a lot of people who are perfectly satisfied with that. They're perfectly satisfied with that. And I think that is
it's between that and just amusing ourselves to death. I mean, they focus so much on cooking and celebrities and all kinds of fluff now.
This is why you guys are kicking ass. Curtis, where can everybody find your work? And I want to have you on. We're going to have you on either tomorrow or Friday in the studio. Go ahead.
Yeah, newsbusters.org. Download the Newsbusters app on Apple and Google Play. We only send like 1 or 2 notifications a week. We're not like one of those news organizations that just like bing, 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 spam the crap out of you.
I'll talk to you tomorrow or Friday, okay, bro? Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving.
I killed a troll a little while ago. I had to take off a couple of trolls today because the more the show grows, the more I see new names, and some of them are completely fake. I'm going to go ahead and kill this troll too. Bye, Trolly Trollerson. You're done. I see a lot of trolls today on YouTube, to be quite honest. Mary Glow, hello. Babies know everything when they are born. My dad was a physician, great with babies. They learn in utero. Yeah, you're 100%. My son knew the sound of my voice when he was born. He came out, and I talked to him. I said, hello, boy, and he opened his eyes, and he knew exactly who I was. I love social distancing from Democrats. There you go. Scott Davies said, chef at Obama's house should not go swimming or after eating. Okay, I don't know where that came up from. Let's see. Over on Rumbly-Roo, you drink it. Valentina, how are you? Sportec, BFO5. Good to see you there. Earnman 2 Dookie Bear. What's up? What's up? Let's see what's happening on Facebook. Sometimes I have trouble loading Facebook for some stupid reason, finding it on the feed, finding the show on the feed. It's weird. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. But yeah, sometimes it just doesn't load. I don't know what the deal is. I'll have to have it explained to me. But I know you're there. Thank you so much. Kerry Corley, what up? Who's this? Hassan Porker. Okay. All right, I got to talk. Okay. So, this is pretty funny. James Tallarico, who is supposedly leading Ken Paxton. I mean, he's way out in front. Kind of like Francesca Hong was. He had this group supporting him online called Republicans for Tallarico. MS Now Air featured a segment, 3 Texas women who identified themselves as Republicans vowed to come across for James Tallarico. Records show at least 2 of them have voted in Democrat primaries and donated to liberal Democrat causes. Republicans for Tallarico is as real as the 6 genders for Tallarico claims exist. Has yet to be explained what they are. The lame brand of white dudes for Kamala is full of lifelong donors, activists, and other losers. Yeah. Republicans aren't going to vote for Tallarico. And Republican women, this is an insult to Republican women because Republican women don't leave the party. MAGA women do not leave the party for this soy boy fake. It's laughable. And I don't know what they're trying to do with the polling down there. It's like, oh, yeah, Ken Paxton had an affair. Oh, really? Okay, that's what you got. That's what you got. The Republican establishment tried to destroy Ken Paxton. They tried to destroy him. They impeached him and all that stuff and all that. And it's nonsense. The Republican establishment has something in for Ken Paxton in the state of Texas. But I'm going to tell you, Texans aren't going to be down with Tallarico. Please. What an insult to Texas. You'd say, oh, yeah, we want a soy boy, guy who believes there are 6 genders, a guy who says that God is non-binary. He's a friggin' vegan. He rents a pickup truck to do an ad. He met his girlfriend at a gay bar. Gee, I wonder why he was at a gay bar. To pick up girls? You suppose he was at a gay bar to pick up girls? I don't care about his sexuality, but, we're not stupid. And don't try to hold up a turkey leg and say you're not a vegan. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We were supposed to lose gravity for 7 seconds today. Wild conspiracy theory at December 2025 alleges that NASA secretly detected the gravitational waves of 2 black holes which collided millions of years ago, headed toward Earth like a beam of killer energy. We were supposed to be weightless for 7.3 seconds this morning at 10:33 a.m. Eastern. I was hoping for it because I've been trying to lose weight for a while. And I could have lost 235 pounds in a second. In a second. But it didn't happen. If you were looking forward to that, you can go back to listening to Alex Jones. There you go. So you probably were down with it, and Bigfoot's weightless too. But that's Alex Jones. I shouldn't pick on Alex Jones because his listeners are kind of cuckoo. That's going to do it for the show today. Thank you for watching, and listening. God bless you. America as founded. Hell with the DSA and the Democrat Party. They're doing a death spiral into hell. Donald Trump and our troops, of course. And until tomorrow, which is Thursday. Do not catch the stupid. I love you guys.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.